Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 111. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this Mamalicious Tuesday evening, Earth date April 25th, 2017. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Butterfly Bandersnatch. Hi, Butterfly.
It's nice to see you again. The name's Butterfly Bandersnatch. You got a butterfly? I'm gonna Bandersnatch it. What's this I'm wearing, you ask? Why, it's a leotard. I got a trunk full of them. No, they ain't for sale.
It's perfect. It's the best one you've done. I can't even breathe. Oh.
What's great is you don't tell me the names ahead of time. So my brain just immediately was like, okay, Butterfly Bandersnatch, what does he sound like?
Oh, so good.
Creepy pirate.
I love it. It's perfect. How are you?
I am good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Well, that's good. We missed a week.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird because we never do that.
Yeah, it's very uncommon that, I mean, it's almost like it happens almost every other week, but it's not really like that. But it's kind of like that.
I feel like we'll get 2, 3, 4 episodes in a row, and then we'll miss a week or two, and then kind of get back to it.
I don't know if we ever miss 2 weeks. We have, but we might miss a week and a half tops.
Yeah.
I think is what it really is.
I feel like we're just sort of revisionist historying this.
I don't understand those words.
We've never missed a week.
We have never missed a week.
And if you think we've missed a week, you can eat it.
Eat it?
Your words, because you're wrong.
Oh, okay. So we're going to eat some words today.
Yeah, no, we're not. The other people.
Oh, wait, we're not wrong?
No.
Oh. Brandon?
Yeah?
I'm confused.
It's okay to be confused.
So what have you been up to, man?
Well, I'm recording from home.
You are?
Again.
Uh-huh.
Again, cross-legged on my floor in sleep pants.
Yes.
So pretty much just thinking about these sleep pants.
So we only really do you from home if you end up having to work on the days that I don't work.
Right.
It seems to be the case. So Mondays and Tuesdays I have off. And usually Brandon is off either a Monday or a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't this week.
Right.
They made him work both Monday and Tuesday at NASA.
Because they're monsters.
They are.
Literal monsters. I'm not supposed to tell you this because, very top level clearance, but NASA employs actual subterranean monsters.
Oh, so it's not like aliens and you're just calling the aliens monsters, but they're proper monsters?
Right. Like Universal Classics style monsters. There's a wolf man. There's a couple creatures from the Black Lagoon. Bela Lugosi's there.
Yeah.
Like the actual Bela Lugosi, but he never breaks character.
What? I thought Bela Lugosi was dead.
Yeah, they want you to think that.
Oh.
And to be fair, he might be because he's always held up by a smaller failed clone of Bela Lugosi.
So sure?
I'm not really sure if it's a symbiotic relationship or whether it's just the smaller one puppeting the bigger one.
So maybe it's not the original Bela Lugosi, but the bigger Bela Lugosi is just a failed clone as well, but it's not able to walk.
I feel like I've said too much.
Well, say goodbye to your job at NASA.
Yeah. So if anybody's hiring, I'm looking.
He has a master's in bioengineering.
Yes. I have a PhD in spaceships, which is pretty good. I have a bachelor's in stars.
Just stars.
And an associate's in liberal arts.
Who doesn't these days, though?
Yeah, exactly. No, I have been really not doing a whole lot. Although since we last recorded, I watched 4 seasons of The Wire.
Okay. How was that?
Yeah. The Wire is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is such a good show.
You've always had a love affair for that show.
I'd only ever watched the first season and really liked the first season. My girlfriend and I have Amazon Prime and just recently remembered like, oh yeah, Amazon Prime has a shit ton of videos you can watch on there.
Yeah.
And it had all 5 seasons of The Wire. So I watched 2 through 5. And it did not disappoint. I mean, to the point where on my days off when I wasn't doing things, I watched like 8 hours of The Wire.
That it's no wonder I can't get you to do anything else for this podcast. You're too busy watching The Wire.
Well, I finished it now, so.
Oh, okay.
My schedule has freed up a bit.
Okay, good.
No, it's one of those shows that everybody talks about, like, oh, you gotta watch The Wire. It's so good. It's so good. And normally I avoid that kind of stuff, just, I guess, because I'm a contrarian at heart. But it really is a fantastic show.
Well, that all sounds awful, Brandon. You know what I've been up to?
What's that?
I have been building rocket ships.
Really?
No.
I was going to say, we can't have 2 rocket ship builders on this.
Yeah, I know, but you're getting fired anyway, so what does it matter?
Not if I kill the leak. Not if I plug the leak.
Who's the leak? You're the leak. You were the leak. You'd have to kill yourself.
Yeah, you're right. Fortunately, people working at NASA, not that bright.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I should be fine.
Whew. Great. So we had established I just wanted to get this out of the way up front. We had established a one-sided war with fellow podcasters, Kapow, the Pop Cultured Podcast.
Right.
And then we had one of the hosts on for last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And he listens to our show anyway, which is very kind of him because God knows why.
Yeah.
And
he's one of 4.
Yes. And he reports back, well, they had a contest going on to win a shirt that they had just released. And, you know, we shared out their page, or we shared out their contest as Dueling Ogres. We shared it out on our own personal Facebooks, you know, because we're not really at war, but we're totally at war.
No, we're really at war.
Yeah, now we are.
Yeah.
Because now I have to share a shirt with Brandon, who is the winner.
Yeah.
If you remember last episode, Brandon said that if we were to win the shirt, we would have to share it and be both inside of it. And I mean, there are a lot of times where I wished I was in Brandon, but not in a shirt with Brandon.
What are you referring to? So it makes me wonder whether it really was a random drawing or they just wanted so bad to see you and I share a shirt.
It's an excellent question, but I think it was a random drawing. I mean, you can even hear the shuffling.
Because the only way I can really imagine it happening that you and I can share a shirt is if I'm riding on your back like Yoda.
Yeah.
And then we pull it over, I guess, my head and then slide it down to your head.
Yeah.
We would have to share the arms, I guess.
We'd have to get like a 5X.
No, I think we could squeeze in.
To what, a 4X or a 3X or a 2X?
Regular XL.
What?
I would have to be nude.
Yeah.
And curled up, obviously, and curled up on your back.
Yeah.
But I think we can make it work, and we will make it work, and that's a promise to the listeners.
I can't fit into a regular X.
Promise to the listeners, I'm going to take my nude body and strap myself to Remington and force him to put an extra large shirt over both of us.
All right.
Take that to the podcast bank.
You know they're going to be expecting something out of us now, right?
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it because the podcast bank fell.
Oh, did it lose all of its stocks and bonds? That's how
it was related.
Work, right?
The podcast bank actually was hit the hardest in the banking crisis of 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
So it was right there with Bear Stearns and Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. Goldman Sachs got sacked.
All right, so
you have stories.
Is that really the best we have for the podcast?
This is what happened. We miss a week and we stop being funny, Brandon. I
think this is the best episode we've ever done.
We have to.
Fuck you for saying differently.
We have to continue lubing each other's funny bone.
Why are you getting this whole episode has just immediately devolved into you being sexual?
I wasn't being. I know. I think our funny bones need greased.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Can you say lube? Can somebody say the word lube and you don't think slightly sexual or laugh? Because I can't.
Yes.
Like if you pull up to a place that's a gas station / quick lube.
Yes.
You don't giggle?
No. I'm an adult, Brandon.
Is that not an adult thing to do?
Yes. That is a non-adult thing to do.
Okay.
I am a miser.
Yeah.
And I don't laugh at sexually vague things.
You don't really find a whole lot of things funny, honestly.
I don't find you funny.
What do you find funny?
Scarves.
Like overly oversized scarves or silly pattern scarves or?
No, just all scarves. All scarves are very funny to me. And I'll tell you why, Brandon.
Yeah, okay, I'm curious.
A scarf is something that you put on to keep your neck warm, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah.
But most coats either have a hood or a collar.
Okay.
Which in turn would keep your neck warm in either case.
Yeah, but you can also put a scarf over your face. You can put it like over your nose and mouth.
That's what a handkerchief is for. Or a bandana.
So then you need another piece of cloth regardless then. Even if you're using a coat to cover your neck. If you want your face and mouth covered.
But by and large, Brandon, a scarf is way more fabric than you'll ever need to cover your face.
So you find scarves funny in the sense that they're not needed, that they're superfluous clothing?
Yes.
So you don't find them funny in like a Lucille Ball sort of way?
Who?
Lucille Ball.
Who's that?
Beloved actress Lucille Ball of I Love Lucy?
Never heard of her.
Lucille Ball Ricardo?
Nope.
Married to Ricky Ricardo?
Uh-uh.
Lucille Ball of the Ball Fortune?
No.
Okay, so I've got a couple stories.
Is this dry humor doing anything for anybody out there?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
You're gonna have to what?
I'm gonna have to edit this real hard to make it work.
Just delete it. Your editing will be one button, and that will be delete.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to be awkward, weird humor for a hot second. I've never experimented with it. It's not my bag.
No, I thought it worked.
Okay. Good.
I liked the character that finds scarves funny, but not in any sort of humorous way. And
yeah, mm-hmm.
Obviously the listeners can't see this where I'm video chatting with you right now.
Yeah,
you had a very straight face, almost like the teacher in the Pink Floyd Wall video, the Scrooge McDuck guy who's yelling at all the kids.
Yeah,
you had a very stern Englishman's face.
Good. That's what I was going for.
So I can appreciate that. Speaking of stern Englishmen, Warner Brothers is being sued.
Okay. What is Warner Brothers being sued for?
$900 million.
Wow.
Over The Conjuring.
Okay.
And all of the subsequent Conjuring properties. Conjuring 2, Annabelle, and then whatever other movies they're putting out under the Conjuring banner.
Okay.
So, you know the Amityville horror movies?
The one with Ryan Reynolds? Or the old ones?
Any of them. Just the property, the idea.
Okay, yeah.
Those were based off of books. So they'll always put in front of those based on a true story.
Yeah.
Those were based off of two people, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who wrote the stories about these houses. And they were ghost hunters, quote, who wrote these and then sold the rights for the Amityville horror and then continued to put out stories of different haunted places they've been to.
Yeah.
All of this is in quotes.
Yeah.
Because I can pepper in allegedly, but I'll just say encompassing umbrella. I think they're full of shit. It's pretty much been proven they're full of shit, but allegedly, whatever.
Okay.
They've sold 17 stories that have been turned into major movies.
Okay.
There's 17 movies in this properties. So anyway, a man named Gerard Brittle, who has a pretty sweet name, who is the author of Demonologist, a book about the study of demons, is suing Warner Brothers because he has the rights to the original cases.
Okay.
Warner Brothers has the rights to tell the story of The Conjuring. It's very convoluted. Warner Brothers has the rights to tell the story of The Conjuring.
Okay.
However, Gerard Brittle has the rights to the original story. So Warner Brothers, by saying based on true events, are infringing upon his copyright because he has the copyright of the true original events of what happened in that house.
Okay.
So Warner Brothers can base The Conjuring off of this house, but by saying based on true events, they're acknowledging we're basing it off of the Ed and Lorraine Warren story, which, according to Gerald, infringes on his rights.
Okay.
So what it comes down to is that in order for Warner Brothers to win this case in court, they have to prove that it's based on true events by proving that ghosts exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wait, who did Ghostbusters?
Dan Aykroyd.
Well, I know, but who was the production company? It wasn't Warner Brothers, was it?
I don't know.
Let me look.
I don't have that knowledge available at the top of my head.
Why do you not know these things, Brandon? You are the bigger nerd here.
I don't really follow a lot of studio stuff.
You should follow all the studios, Brandon.
And I know I'm probably butchering this story a little bit. It sounds like I didn't read it. It sounds like I'm just skimming over it, but I promise you I read a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's just super convoluted.
Okay.
Because I guess this guy has sued Warner Brothers before and it's been settled out of court. Like, a lot of people think that they own the rights to the Conjuring movies and the Amityville horror movies because Ed and Lorraine sold the rights to these different stories, but all the stories kind of stem from the same initial thing.
Okay.
So technically, a lot of people own the rights to these things.
Okay. So, I mean, do you think that this Gerald has a dog in the hunt?
He has sued a lot over the rights to this.
Okay.
And they did settle out of court before. I have a feeling that if the case comes down to they have to prove ghosts exist to not have to give him the money, a judge is going to have to throw that out. I mean, I guess stranger things have happened in courts in the past. Like, you know, you hear about courts in the 1700s where they would put like dogs and shit on the witness stand. But now I don't know how you can go into a court of law and argue, okay, they have to prove ghosts exist.
Yeah. It seems like an intangible thing to even try and do. Columbia Pictures, Montecito Picture Company, Village Roadshow Pictures, and Pascal Pictures, by the way.
I mean, how would you prove that a ghost exists?
I mean, you'd have to have some sort of physical evidence. And all of the physical evidence that we know is out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff that's not really explainable that you can find out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that begs the question is how do you convince somebody? But to that end, all of that stuff is still, it's captured on a video or captured in a picture or captured in some form where there can always be an argument that it's not true, you know?
Yeah. You'd have to get a ghost on the witness stand.
Yeah. And not just like a medium on the witness stand channeling a ghost.
No, like a full ghost.
Like ectoplasmic entity on
just
the
dripping,
witness stand.
yeah.
Yeah, just blurb, blurb, blurb.
It would have to be like, it looks like Warner Brothers is failing. Gerald is about to win this case. And then suddenly the defense for Warner Brothers stands up and says, Your Honor, I'd like to call a surprise witness. I want to introduce to the stand. And then he points and the doors whip open and just a ghost calmly strolls down.
Well, floats
down. See, yeah. I'm picturing more like, I guess he would still be floating, but he's got a cane. Like, he's dressed for court.
Uh-huh.
He's not like a surfer dude. He's like, I don't know, 1700s businessman.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it would be like an old dead dude from Warner Brothers? Like an old dead businessman from Warner Brothers?
See, I don't know, because then that would be, that could be a conflict of interest.
Well,
When that
I mean, you're still proving that there is a ghost. I mean, that if that's what the whole crux of the argument for this case is to prove that there are ghosts, then
Mhm.
if you bring a ghost to the witness stand, then that's all you need to do. The ghost doesn't even need to talk, in my opinion. I mean, if I were the judge, I'd be like, bonk, case closed. Boop, 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 boop.
Just real casual about it.
Well, that's the damnedest thing that I've ever seen. Gavel, gavel.
Well, I mean, Warner Brothers, you'd have to touch that ghost. Because until you touched it, you couldn't be 100% sure it wasn't an old man in a Warner Brothers mask.
No, you can tell the difference between prosthetics and an actual ghost.
Can you? Have you ever been to the Haunted Mansion?
Yes. No.
And could you tell?
Yes.
They're real ghosts in the Haunted Mansion.
It's the same thing as like when these prank shows, they do something crazy off the wall. Like there's a new one on Disney XD with some kids.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Walk the Prank.
Okay.
And they'll get they do a lot of stuff to babysitters. And
Oh.
yeah, like so one of them, they pull this babysitter in, and it's a mixed racial family. So one of the
Okay, real quick, is there a host? Is there like an adult host that's like, okay, kids, here's what we're gonna do?
No, not really. So the premise is that all these kids hang out in a joke store that's owned by one of the kids' uncles.
So it's all scripted?
Yes and no. They do actual pranks on people, but they do it in a venue as if these kids go to this joke shop every week.
Okay.
And come up with a prank to pull on unsuspecting bystanders.
Unsuspecting babysitters, specifically.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, they do a lot of babysitters, but not always. So,
Yeah.
So one of the storylines is we have this interracial family. So it's a black kid and his brother.
Okay.
But it's the kids from the joke shop. And they pull this babysitter in, and one of them is sick. He's not feeling well. So he's up in bed and she's playing games with the other kid. And the one kid who's sick calls her up and he's like, oh, I don't feel very well. And the excuse is that he's eaten too much candy. And he starts to develop a rash, quote unquote rash, and it looks like scales. And they have a makeup department behind a hidden wall and they're putting scales on him.
Okay.
So then she's like, "Oh my God, I need to call your parents." He's like, "No, let's just wait and we'll see what happens, or we'll see if it goes away or something like that. Please don't call him yet." And
she agrees to it?
yes, and she agrees to it.
Okay, so she's not a good babysitter right off the bat.
Yeah, terrible babysitter. Yeah, but the reasoning is that he doesn't want to get in trouble because she goes downstairs and he's like, "Yeah," the other kid is like, yeah, he didn't eat too much candy. He was bit by a lizard and he's not feeling good. But we didn't want to get in trouble for playing with a lizard because we've been told not to. So
do they have a pet lizard?
No, it's like in the yard.
Okay.
A wild lizard.
Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just catch myself up to speed here real quick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The kid says he's eaten too much candy.
Yes.
He has a rash that looks like scales.
Yes.
The babysitter, presumably the babysitter is unsuspecting, right?
Yes.
Sees that the kid has scales. I'm going to call your parents. He says, no, please, I'll get in trouble. So she says, okay, fuck it. We'll wait it out.
Right.
Goes downstairs. The other kid says, oh no, we were playing with an errant lizard.
Yep.
We've been warned multiple times not to play with, and it bit him. And she's just like, shrug, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
So now that you fully understand the story here.
Yeah.
So they go back to full playing around with whatever game they're playing, cards or whatever bullshit. And he yells again, and she goes up, and now he's got lizard contacts in. Okay. So she's kind of flipped out, and she calls the parents this time. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong, but, there's something really wrong with blah, blah, blah. You guys need to come back home or whatever. And she has gone back downstairs to talk to them so she doesn't scare the kid.
Yeah, leave the kid alone, of course.
Yeah, just leave him alone. So now they switch him out with a stunt double who is dressed like a full fucking lizard.
Like a lizard man?
Like a lizard man. Like a straight
Okay.
lizard man. So they switch him out, and she goes back upstairs. So Dad's like, let me talk to him on the phone. Comes back up, and she's like straight fucking freaked out that she doesn't even want to go into the room. She's like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm really scared. Like on the phone to this kid's dad, right?
Like before she sees him?
Yes, before she even sees that he is a full-blown lizard man now.
Okay.
So then she starts approaching. The other kid is with her, trying to egg her on. And Lizard Man pops up, scares the absolute bejesus out of her. She runs. The camera crew comes in. You're on a hidden camera show. Yay, you walk the prank, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You just walked the prank. You just walked the prank.
Okay, so in this lady's world,
Yes.
at that point, her brain has just come to accept that wild lizards pass on a form of lycanthropy that turns you super quickly into a full fucking lizard man.
Yep.
And she's just like, okay, this is the reality we're in.
Yeah.
Better call the parents.
Yeah. So here's the thing. They do crazy pranks like this. Like they have another babysitter. She's reading a book about a pig boy.
Let's do this whole episode about this because I'm fucking fascinated. Okay, pig boy, I'm in.
She's reading a book about a pig boy.
We were playing with a pig in the yard and our parents...
And the kid, again, he is sick. They don't always use this excuse, but just happens to be the other one that pops into my head.
No, it's a classic.
Yeah. So he wants a story read to him. He likes this horror pig boy story. And they go through the story and the lights flicker in tune with the book.
Okay.
And then a car alarm goes off in tune with the book. And, as she's reading it, these things are also happening in real life.
Yeah.
So in the next part, the TV pops on out of nowhere. Well, instead of, they specifically say, we don't want to give too much away. So instead of having a TV pop on, we're going to have the radio pop on. So the radio automatically pops on. She's pretty freaked out at this point. And then she runs off. She's like kind of scared. And then
she's like, fuck the kid.
Yeah. And the kid follows her and he's like, no, come on back. It's fine. Just finish the thing. And as he drags her back into the room, a pig boy jumps out from under the bed and scares the living daylights out of this lady. So here we have another instance where apparently human beings are so stupid that they can be fooled into a prosthetically laced man jumping out from under a child's bed. And you don't immediately think something screwy going on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's presumably it's the initial reaction of something just jumping out from under the bed. But having a daughter myself and having been around my girlfriend's kids as well, when something like that happens, if the kid is like, no, it's fine, let's come back in here. Fuck no. At this point, I'm the adult and there's something weird going on. So let's leave this room for a minute.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because there isn't a whole lot that really freaks me out. But I just can't imagine being on one of these shows. Another one that they like to do is they'll get... I'm sorry.
No, I'm just picturing you like you're on one of these shows and Pig Boy pops out and it cuts to you and your arms are crossed and you have this like angry look on your face, shaking your head.
No, sir, I don't believe it. You and that Pig Boy, get out of here. I don't want none of this malarkey. You get your ass back to bed. Pig Boy, you get back under there and go to sleep too, you little shit, trying to scare me. You don't know who you're dealing with. If you don't listen up, I'm going to turn you into bacon. I don't know.
I feel like the initial shock is what gets you, though.
Sure. I mean, I'll give you that. Are you
easily shocked? Like, can somebody jump out from behind a door and like,
scare
you?
Don't get me wrong. I hate jump scares. I don't like horror movies in general, and I don't like horror movies with a lot of jump scares because I'm not skittish, but I naturally quickly respond to something that jumps out at me.
Yeah.
It's not something that I have a whole lot of control over, but I mean, so would I jump? Sure. Would I immediately say this is not a possibility in this life? Yes. Like, I don't care how much convincing you went through. And, that always makes me wonder about these shows. How many people do they have to go through before they find that one gullible motherfucker who is incapable of separating fantasy from reality?
Yeah. Well, and also, and maybe I'm putting too much thought into this, not only do you have to just accept that there is a pig boy, but also that he has electrical powers, that he's sitting there under the bed listening to you read the story. So he can perfectly use his ability to jostle a car to set off the alarm.
Right.
And then to like turn the knob on a radio.
Yeah.
But he's not scary enough to do anything but like boogity boogity when he jumps out from under the bed. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could have some sort of pig demon scenario.
Yeah. So some of the other ones that they'll do is one of the more recent ones they are shooting a fake cereal commercial.
Okay.
And the actress who comes in to play the mom she had some injuries. So the doctors say that she's not really supposed to be on set yet, but she's got a neck brace on. She thinks she's okay.
She's the Mark, or is
No,
she an actress?
She is an actual actress. The Mark is the guy playing the cereal
mascot.
The cereal mascot. The Mark is the cereal mascot. So he has to pop out from behind a wall, a fake wall, a paper wall. So they do several takes and different things keep going wrong. Like he gets drenched in milk and the director's like, cut, who cued the milk? What the hell is going on here? He didn't say hell because it's a kid's show, but
What are you fucking doing, you idiots? Man, Disney XD is extreme.
Yeah. So milk falls on him and something else happens and they have to reset 3 or 4 times. And then he hears the director yell action, but nobody is in their places. He jumps through the wall. The mother, who has previously been established as being injured, is standing right in front. She jumps backward and falls through the table.
Okay.
So, and he is like, oh my God, I've just killed this lady. He runs over and like basically throws himself on her, which would probably do more damage than good, but he is trying to help, I guess.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this actor was the creepiest dude you've ever seen ever. Like, creepy as fuck looking, like long scraggly hair, crazy eyes, and they're trying to make him, say cartoon things, and it just sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
So
I was watching a video on Watch Mojo that was like worst reality shows.
Yeah.
And I looked up a couple of them to see if I could find them on because there's nowhere to stream them, because these were like 2 episodes, 3 episodes ran and they were canceled kind of things,
Right.
And I found one. It's a British show called Naked Office.
Okay.
And it's a lady. I can't remember the lady's name, but she features in every one. And she's basically, her job is to go into offices of companies and like do training exercises and, to make all the office people bond more.
Right.
But the point of it is she comes in the first day on Monday and says, on Friday, we're going to have a naked day. Everybody in the office is going to come in naked.
Okay.
And I'm going to do things during the week to make people comfortable enough with each other that you can come in naked on Friday.
Okay.
And I watched 2 episodes, and it was probably one of the worst TV shows I've ever watched. It was so stupid.
So did it just take place every Naked Friday?
No, it was like they did a lot of stuff leading up to it. Like in one of the episodes I saw, each person in the office on like a Tuesday picked their favorite body part and then had a cast mold done of their favorite body part. And then they were all put on display, and the office people walked around and looked at each of their other office members' favorite body parts cast.
Seems like there'd be a lot of penises in that. There
were no penises. There's one set of boobs and mostly like hands and knees and stuff.
See, I call bullshit.
In one episode I saw, they didn't come in naked. Like they would wear like aprons. Some of them were in like bikinis and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I saw, the dudes came in fully naked. The women all body painted themselves. So they were naked, but they were body painted.
Okay.
And it seemed like I was reading reviews after I watched the 2 episodes to be like, what could they possibly have thought of this? Because it was it was a British show. And all the reviews were basically about how exploitative it was.
Okay.
And it was made really with just the idea of being titillating.
Yeah.
Of watching it the whole time, like, will they, won't they?
Yeah. That's lame.
Yeah. So that's it. It was pretty terrible. I watched it a few weeks ago, but I just wanted to get that out there. The Naked Office. It's awful.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
So there's a big middle finger to you, Britain.
So what was the point of me getting into the walking the prank thing?
You were talking about people being able to recognize prosthetics if they were to bring in
a ghost for the Warner Brothers thing. Yeah, sorry, I lost a hard.
Yeah, it's fine. The whole discussion was really just a labyrinth that we got lost in.
Yeah.
I mean, we walked in there knowing there was no exit.
Yeah, and we took no string with us to lead the way.
Right. So now we're here. There's the Minotaur.
And we're
what are we
fucked.
Gonna do?
We're fucked. That's what.
Well, while we're waiting for our inevitable death, Remington, I'll hit you with my next story.
Okay, do it.
There's rumor that there's a possible Watchmen animated movie.
Okay.
In the works.
Okay.
There was a marketing survey that was leaked that is gauging interest from people on possible animated movies. So this is very, very tenuous news.
Okay. So it could be anything, but it could be a Watchmen animated movie.
The Watchmen was listed on there. Also Swamp Thing, Batman Death in the Family, Batman Long Halloween, or Gotham Academy.
Okay. So Batman, or Batman?
Or Swamp Thing.
Or Swamp Thing.
I think a Swamp Thing animated movie would be really cool. Like a hard R done like the original comic Swamp Thing would be really neat to see.
Yeah.
Super psychedelic, but I'm down for a Watchmen animated movie.
So what did you think about the Watchmen movie?
I love the Watchmen movie. I know it gets a lot of hate. A lot of people think that it drags on too long. It's too slow. And I mean, I can see the arguments, but I loved it.
Yeah. I haven't sat down and watched it all the way through. I've seen about half at one point and then the other half at a different point, but I've never seen it fully all the way through. And I can't formulate an opinion on how it is because it's so very disjointed to view a movie that way, but especially that movie because it's very surreal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it has a lot of stuff going on too.
Yeah. And that's about the only thing that I could say, if I had to say anything, was seemed like it had a whole lot going on and be easy to get lost in.
Well, and it follows the comics pretty well, I thought. It leaves out, there's like a whole side story in Watchmen that's following a pirate. It leaves all of that out, but I thought the movie did a really good job of hitting a lot of the major and some of the minor plot points of the comics.
Okay.
They leave out, there's a whole giant squid thing that they leave out, and they kind of change around what the main bad guy is doing, like how he has started this whole thing. But for the most part, I mean, I liked it.
Fair enough. What do you think then about, I mean, do you think that The Watchmen warrants an animated movie of its own, or do you think one of these other titles would be better suited for it? Because we've seen a Watchmen movie, you know what I mean? So should we retread on that ground, knowing that by and large the Watchmen movie was kind of a disappointment, or do we launch into one of these other three Batman titles or Swamp Thing?
Honestly, I don't really know. Death in the Family I've heard of. Long Halloween and Gotham Academy I don't know anything about.
Gotcha.
And Death in the Family I've heard in name only. I don't know what the story is. Swamp Thing, I've read some Swamp Thing. And like I said, if they did the original comic story, I think it would be a cool animated movie.
So you would be more behind a Swamp Thing than a Watchmen, would you say?
I'd say so. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if they said they're putting out a Watchmen animated movie.
Yeah, because I don't, Batman sells, but do we need another Batman thing?
Yeah, but Killing Joke wasn't super accepted either when they released the Killing Joke cartoon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it kind of got mixed reviews because of the weird stuff they did with Batgirl at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the Dark Knight comic, or the Dark Knight cartoon, was fantastic. The two-parter they released was really good.
It was really good. I still haven't seen The Killing Joke yet.
I have it. I can let you borrow it if you want.
Okay.
It's good. It's like normal movie length. I think it's like an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. It's not super long.
Yeah.
But the comic itself was one issue, I think. Like one long issue.
Yeah.
If on the comic news, sort of, Stan Lee. You've heard of Stan Lee, Remington?
Who?
Staniel Lieberman.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He recently got an award.
For... No, I got nothing. What?
I mean, Stan Lee is obviously long storied history, one of the major players and founders of Marvel Comics.
Right.
Either, if you follow what he says, sole creator of all these Marvel properties, or if you look at history, co-creator of a lot of these Marvel properties.
No, he's the sole creator.
I mean, I guess if you want to just totally write Jack Kirby out, sure.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Jack Kirby didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave that one alone. But...
I just want to piss off as many comic readers as I possibly can.
So obviously Stan Lee has shaped so much of what we view comics as even now.
Oh, sure.
You know, and I think we're going away from that now with where we are with comics, but he's the basin of it. So with all of that said, he was recently inducted into Whitecastle's Craver Hall of Fame.
Like the restaurant Whitecastle.
The restaurant Whitecastle, yes. He was inducted into their Cravers Hall of Fame.
Okay. What brought this on?
Well, Whitecastle inducts between like 2 and 7 people into their Craver Hall of Fame a year.
Okay.
And you can go to whitecastle.com and enter for yourself right now. All you have to do is write a piece about why you should be inducted and how much you love Whitecastle.
Wait, so okay, are we insinuating that Stan Lee wrote a piece on
No.
how much he wants to be in this Hall of Fame, true believers?
He sold the rights to Spider-Man so he could grease enough wheels to get into the Whitecastle Cravers Hall of Fame.
So did somebody else write it and he got inducted? Did they just pull this shit out of a hat? How does this work, Brandon?
Sometimes they just induct celebrities.
Oh, okay. So
Stan
it's just
Lee
a crapshoot.
He happened to be opening up a sort of comic book collectible store nearby called Excelsior Collectibles.
Uh-huh.
So it was basically Whitecastle inducting him in front of the grand opening of Excelsior Collectibles, pretty much to just draw more eyes to it.
So they inducted a celebrity who was opening a shop nearby against their will so they could get publicity.
Well, it wasn't against his will. He was up on stage. I mean, they were dragging him into Whitecastle.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean...
Let me go.
Stan Lee will do anything.
I like my burgers full size.
I'm 173 years old, true believers. If you need me to be out in front of people, just drag my ass out there. I don't care what it is.
No, I mean, Stan Lee's hustling until the very end.
He is.
He's making any appearance he can.
I love him to death. He can be on this podcast if he wants. We'll induct him into our Hall of Fame. He can be the first one.
What would our Hall of Fame be called? Because, I mean, Craver's Hall of Fame, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. We'll call it...
I'm thinking Den. We can get Den in there.
Okay, yeah.
Goes with the ogre thing.
Yeah. The Den of Grubworms.
I feel like we can workshop that a little bit.
Are you sure? I think it's pretty solid. The Den of Grubworms. The Grubworms Den of Fame. The Grub Den of Fame.
Yeah, why grubworms? Where did grubworms come from?
I, as an ogre, enjoy eating grubworms.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm doing here? The Spiked Club Hall of Fame.
Okay. The Spiked Club Den of
Fame.
Thieves. Den of Fame.
Den of Ogres.
The Spiked Club Denim.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sold. That was a good workshop, Brandon.
Let's get a hold of Stan Lee.
Long distance high five. Good job. I did it already. You ruined the mystique.
Other celebrities invited into the Cravers Hall of Fame include Alice Cooper and the 2 main actors from Harold and Kumar Go to Whitecastle.
Well, go fucking figure on that. I bet they were the first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the Facebook page and I watched it. They live streamed it.
Yeah.
His induction.
Uh-huh.
And it was just the lamest thing I'd ever seen.
Oh.
It's like not on Stan Lee's part.
No, sure.
He's sitting there in a chair like, he always is, just being Stan Lee.
Yeah.
But then the other guy's like, I'm the CEO of Whitecastle and I want to accept, like, he's making bad jokes and you can hear that there's like barely anybody in the crowd, like nobody's applauding or laughing.
Yeah.
He like pulls up a black and white picture and he's like, we found the original picture of Stan Lee from his very first visit to Whitecastle. And it's like an old black and white picture of a kid and they just photoshopped his trademark glasses onto the kid's face.
Wow, that does sound super lame.
Yeah. And then the guy's like, oh, but that's not really you, Stan. But we want to welcome you anyway.
Okay, so he didn't even stand by the joke?
No. And like Stan Lee gets up and like Stan Lee's over to the picture and looks at it and he's like, I was going to say, I don't know who that kid is or where you got that picture from.
Thanks, Stan.
He's just having none of it.
That's good. I like that.
Okay, I want to do a quick touch on. I know
No.
we've talked about it. Huh?
No.
Okay.
Brandon, YouTube Kids bring cartoons and bright colors to your smart TV.
Okay.
There's a YouTube's Kids channel now.
Okay. Why are you saying it so forcefully?
It's just YouTube Kids. It's a mobile app. It's its own app.
All
and
right,
you
cool.
can stream it to your smart TV so your kids can watch YouTube and not watch Markiplier.
All right.
I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, what's your next story?
So is it just kid friendly YouTube channels then?
Yes, it's just kid friendly YouTube.
That's honestly not a bad idea because I mean, my daughter, like every kid in this generation, watches 90% YouTube if she's watching anything.
Yeah.
And I set her up an account so she can't watch any mature rated videos.
Right.
But people don't always flag them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she likes watching the try not to laugh videos. And it'll be fine, and it'll be goofy pictures of, babies photoshopped and dogs with human teeth and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
And then just randomly, it'll be somebody like a lizard running across water and somebody going, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. So,
yeah, I mean, that's just it. You kind of have to flag the video yourself, so as far as I know, unless it gets reported. Like, I kind of want to check it out just to see what all is in there, you know what I mean? Like, is it just... Or do they only allow channels that are just like straight up, we are branded as child-friendly stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be.
Let's do a kids-friendly version of the show and get on YouTube. You're basically a cartoon.
Well, I am a cartoon, but fuck that idea.
You're like Fred Flintstone with a goatee.
No, I like the F word too much.
You can do it without.
No.
I could be Dino.
No. Wait,
Wait.
do your best Dino impression.
Hey, Freddy. I don't know what Dino sounds like.
Nope.
No. Does Dino make a noise?
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm going to do my best Dino impression.
Hit me with your Dino.
Okay. I have never done a Dino impression, but I remember what he sounds like. So this might be totally off, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
That's Dino.
So he's just a horrible yappy dog?
Yes. That's all he is.
That sounds like me.
Well, yeah, your normal speaking voice, yes.
Yeah,
but...
you can be my Wilma.
Okay. So we all know about Star Wars Episode 8, but there's an Indiana Jones 5. Have we talked about that?
I don't think so.
And I said Star Wars 8, but what I meant Star Wars 9. So we know that Star Wars 9 is going to be releasing May 24th, 2019. That is a release date that has been set. But apparently Harrison Ford will be reprising his role in Indiana Jones for a 5th movie, which will come out July 10th, 2020. And Spielberg will be back as the director.
Okay.
Yeah. This is from our favorite website and affiliate, Nerdist News.
Oh, the Nerdist?
Yeah.
Can they just not leave Harrison Ford alone at this point?
Do you think that he doesn't want to do these?
He always seems so grumpy. I mean, he's getting paid a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So, it's always his option, but I don't know. I mean, I love the Indiana Jones movies, but I mean, I don't care about a 5th movie that much.
A 5th movie with Harrison Ford or just a 5th movie in general?
I mean, if you're going to do an Indiana Jones, you have to have Harrison Ford if you're following in the same lineage.
Yeah.
There's like young Indiana Jones, and I'm sure they'll do a reboot of Indiana Jones at some point.
Yeah.
But he was old in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He was like pretty old.
Yeah.
And that was what, like 6-7 years ago?
Yeah. And didn't that take place when did that take place in just the scheme of things? It was right after World War II, was it? Or it was in the 50s, right? I would say it was in the 50s.
Oh, yeah, because there was the atomic testing.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, we know that Raiders of the Lost Ark took place in World War II because there was Nazis.
Yeah.
So was it the 50s?
I'm looking it up real quick.
Okay. Because
it came out in 2008, so 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And it takes place in 1957.
Okay. So late 50s.
He's fighting the Soviets.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought that there were Russians or Soviets, if we're going to be PC about it, I guess. So there's no word whether or not Mutt Williams, a.k.a. Shia LaBeouf, the bastard son of Indiana Jones, will be back or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know He seems so grumpy about doing any movies anymore.
Well, before Force Awakens came out, when people would ask him about Star Wars, and he'd always just like, nah.
Well, yeah, but
He wasn't even saying words. He's just grunting at people.
Yeah, I think he likes Indiana Jones better than he likes Han Solo.
And I think that it's like he doesn't like Star Wars in the way that somebody of my dad's generation, if they see your car broken down, begrudgingly comes and helps you fix it when you know deep down they like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting the oil in all wrong. Hold on, let me show you.
Yeah. So, 5th Indiana Jones. Okay, what do you got?
Dun, 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 dun. This is just a quick follow-up. We talked about, I think for multiple episodes in a row, games releasing not finished and whether they should and blah, 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 blah. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
A final little bookend on that story is Mass Effect. You had talked on an episode about how they were releasing a big patch to fix a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh. How'd that go?
And the patch went well. Patch actually fixed a lot of stuff from what I've read. Here's what cracks me up, though.
Okay.
So I read online that Bioware has a way, anytime games like this come out, especially on PC, the biggest thing they have to deal with is pirates and piracy.
Yeah.
So they release these games, very hard to crack, and then pirates crack them quickly, and it's a back and forth, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Bioware put out their anti-piracy measure is you can pirate Mass Effect fine, you just can't update it.
Okay.
So their anti-piracy measure is sticking you with the game that was sold at launch.
Okay.
As their punishment for you pirating it. Doesn't that seem a little like on the nose?
I kind of like it. Yeah. I kind of like it.
That they released it with like, no, it's fine. We're just going to fix some stuff. And now that they fixed a little bit of it, they're like, yeah, you dirty pirates.
Yeah, I like it.
Good luck with this shitty version.
You can still play the game, but it's terrible. Good job. Yeah. I like it.
And the last piece of news I have...
I think that's a really good idea. I'm not going to lie. The more I think about it, yeah. You don't think that's a good idea? I mean, if we're going to argue that games are not putting out a full and complete game at launch, at least this makes a good reasoning for it. I mean, even if it's an accidental reasoning, but hey, whatever, you know?
See, I view it more as them acknowledging now that it's been patched that, yeah, the version at launch was not super great.
Well, I think that was an apparent thing to begin with. I mean, they had to have known when they launched this is going to be a shitstorm, you know?
Yeah. Well, it still got pretty good reviews regardless.
Well, yeah, I mean, the story is still good. It's just all the bugs.
Yeah. But they've gone a long way in fixing them.
Yeah.
So at one point, many episodes ago, we talked about a bunch of different movies coming out. And one of them that I mentioned that I was excited about on name alone was the Rampage movie. Do you remember us talking about that based on the old arcade game Rampage?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The one where it's a city-destroying game where you play as either Lizzie, I think, the Godzilla monster, or George the ape.
Yeah.
And you're gigantic and you're destroying a city.
Right.
And there was nothing really announced about the movie outside of the fact that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be in the movie.
Okay. Well,
from Splash Report, which is a website I saw referenced a few times, but I don't know much about it.
Okay.
This is the supposed leaked premise of the movie.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this is true. I saw it sourced a couple places, but they all source this one site. So take it for what it is.
Okay.
There's a privately owned space station that is destroyed. It's destroyed by a mysterious force. When it's destroyed, 3 canisters plummet to Earth. One of them lands in the swamp in Florida. One of them lands in Wyoming. And one of them lands in a gorilla enclosure. So there you've got your giant lizard from the swamps of Florida. You got your Wolfman from Wyoming, and you got your George from the
gorilla enclosure. Yeah.
There are 2 brothers who head the company that ran this private space station.
Okay.
They see these monsters growing and decide the best thing to do is to set off a beacon in their hometown of Chicago to draw the 3 monsters to Chicago so they will fight each other.
Seems legit.
So that's the premise of the movie.
Okay.
But I hear you asking, Remington and audience, How does Dwayne The Rock Johnson fit into this?
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
How does Dwayne The Rock Johnson fit into all this?
He is, of course, playing an ex-Marine primatologist.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Oh, yes. There are many ex-Marine gorillatologists. I forgot what the primatologist. There we go.
Primatologist. He's the one who raised George. So presumably he'll be the one who either controls George. Maybe George is the good one.
Yeah.
Or he's there in the middle as the monsters are fighting and things are being thrown everywhere, yelling up to George, George, don't you remember?
Like, I mean, do we have to explain away the fact that The Rock is The Rock and has many, many muscles upon muscles just by saying that he was ex-military?
I mean, I guess that's what you got to say.
Like, I mean, I've seen many Marines in my time, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Like, they're not all ripped muscle heads. So
you're saying that primatologists can't be in shape? A primatologist can't take care of their body?
I'm saying that we need a better explanation as to why this primatologist is beefy, or we don't need one. Let's go the opposite way. We don't need to know that he was ex-military. You know, he's just a beefy primatologist. He likes to wrestle chimpanzees in his spare time. I mean,
the ex-Marine is going to come in when he takes control of a helicopter to fly up and parachute onto Lizzie's nose or something.
Yeah, gotcha. I guess.
You can't have an action hero that's not ex-military, because then you're going to have people wondering why a primatologist knows how to use a fucking machine gun.
Yeah, stupid.
Now that you know he's ex-Marine, that's the only plot hole in the movie, and it's been tied up for you, and you can enjoy it plot hole free.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this guy doesn't just do some skydiving in his spare time or something. A lot of people do that. No, they all have to be ex-military.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken fucking martial arts or anything, He's got to be ex-military. I mean, here he is fighting chimpanzees. Maybe he learned fucking monkey form from the chimpanzees.
Oh my God, that would be so good. Not like the Kung Fu monkey form, but like just a straight up fucking monkey fighting monkey form.
Yeah, like fucking primal as balls. He doesn't need to be ex-military. He just needs to tear the fucking arms off of people if he gets pissed off.
Holy shit. That is 1,000 times better.
See, take that Rampage movie and shove it in your giant monkey butthole.
That was a little violent.
Well, I mean, you're having giant fighting monsters in shit.
We're talking about The Rock. I can't help it. I get pumped.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. And I mean, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite in pretty much every part of my life. Because I look at the Fast and the Furious movies and I roll my eyes. And they're just stupid fun. And I still see them and I'm like, that looks so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But then I hear about this, which is almost infinitely more dumb.
Yeah,
because you have 3 giant monsters fighting from space canisters with The Rock, and I'm like, I'm in 100%.
Well, it's solely because you don't like cars.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
movies
all
with cars, really.
Yeah, when a main character is a car, then it's just not interesting.
Yeah, I hate Herbie.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Although Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was really good.
No.
To each their own, but you're wrong.
What was the Stephen King one? Christine?
No, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That was Stephen King?
What's the next story you have, Brandon Full?
Those are all my stories.
Those are all of your stories?
Mm-hmm.
So, do we need to wrap up?
I think so.
Oh, man.
I mean, we've been going for like an hour and a half.
Have we?
Like hour 20.
I don't understand, Brandon. Do we have to leave?
We don't have to. I mean, the audience at this point, if they've listened this long and haven't turned it off, I don't think there's really anything we can do to chase them away at this point.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like this hasn't been the strongest of episodes.
This has definitely not been the strongest of episodes.
We'll go ahead and shoot straight with the audience.
Yeah.
This isn't going on the highlight reel.
Yeah. This is not our best work. All right, so Brandon, the last one that we're going to do today, and then we'll pull up some shout-outs and get the fudge out of here.
Okay.
So this is another article by the Nerdist, Blair Marnell, in fact, specifically. This article, I'm just going to start off verbatim since this is one that I just found.
Okay.
It was posted yesterday. It's been almost 2 years since Bethesda sent players back to the Wasteland in Fallout 4, and while we're eagerly awaiting the first glimpse of Fallout 4 VR later this year, there are new plans to expand the Fallout experience in tabletop gaming. And apparently they're sourcing this from an article on Polygon, where Bethesda and Modifius Entertainment are teaming up for a Fallout Wasteland Warfare, a new miniatures war game that will feature solo missions as well as PvP and co-op options for multiplayer. Thus far, very few details have been revealed about Wasteland Warfare, but the first teaser image from the game was posted on Facebook over the weekend. In that picture, we can see the game appears to be taking its cues from Fallout 4 with super mutants and fighters in T-60 power armor. There's even a Nuka-Cola machine.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Presumably, the game will also feature other icons from the Fallout universe, but it's unclear where it fits within the narrative of the game. Modifius Entertainment has a good track record of bringing its games to life through successful Kickstarter campaigns, but it's not currently known if Fallout Wasteland Warfare will also go the Kickstarter route, or if Modifius will simply go straight to retail with one of the biggest video game brands. An official site for the game has also been launched with a new piece of artwork from the game and a very familiar canine companion. So yeah, what do you think of proper warfare-style miniatures Fallout board game?
I think that would be really cool. I'm not a huge fan of warfare-based board games, mainly because I'm shit at strategy. I'm just terrible at it.
Right.
But Fallout started as a turn-based game. Fallout 1 and 2 were turn-based. It wasn't until 3 that they went the first-person shooter route.
Right.
So the combat mechanics are there and the rules are there to almost just totally transplant that into a board game.
Yeah.
So if they stuck with those rules, that would be cool. And I'm looking at kind of a mock-up that they released. And you've got death claws and super mutants and super mutant hounds and turrets and iBots and stuff.
Yeah.
So it looks really neat.
Yeah, I can see kind of. Were you looking at like from Twitter released picture or something, or the Facebook one?
I just searched Fallout Wasteland Warfare on Google and images. It's like they're unpainted miniatures.
Okay, yeah, that's what they released on Facebook. The Modifius page released that on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, those miniatures look awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. It'll be nice to see some of these characters kind of brought to life, something that's tangible, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I could see them going the Kickstarter route, but there's enough there that they could just sell it and the board game would sell. I mean, Bethesda's not hurting for money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I don't think that they would need to go a Kickstarter route. I mean, they've already made a name for themselves by having successful Kickstarter campaigns for other games, I assume, for other board games. I assume that they're a board game company. I haven't done any research on them. Like I said, I just pulled the story up. But if they were recognized by Bethesda and Bethesda came to them and said, hey, we like your other board games, you want to do a Fallout one. And then to have, you know, as you said, the first Fallout game was more turn-based. To supplant that turn-based styling into, it's almost like they're going back in time and retreading this on a nostalgia level right before they drop the Fallout 4 VR, which would be really, it would be an interesting play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like the whole idea of that. That's pretty cool. Maybe we can secure a copy and play it. And we could do some PvP or we could do some multiplayer. We could get Larry in since he does a lot of the RPG stuff. And I think he dabbles a little bit in board games. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he does board games.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
We could stream it on Twitch.
Oh, man, that would be even cooler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for that game and put it on our radar to see when it's supposed to launch. Because these are just plans, it looks like right now. It doesn't look like, you know, they state that an official site has been launched, but...
Yeah, I'm on their site right now. All it shows is their teaser image, and you can sign up to be messaged whenever more stuff comes out.
Okay. Sign up for it, Brandon. Do it.
I'm doing it right now.
So for anybody else who's interested and wants to sign up for launch news, you can go to modifius.com, MODIPHIUS.com/Fallout. and that'll take you to that landing page. You can sign up for it. Other games that they have done, they've done a Star Trek game, Kung Fu Panda, Conan, Achtung Cthulhu, Siege of the Citadel, Mutant Chronicles, just really all kinds of games. And it doesn't look like they're any stranger to doing actual titles as well. We've got Thunderbirds, John Carter, Star Trek, Kung Fu Panda, like I said, Conan.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick up a copy of that, depending on the launch price. If it's got high quality models like that, I mean, games like that can run, $80, $100 sometimes.
Yeah. Looks like their Thunderbirds one is a board game between $60 and $80 or so. Airfix Battles, $30 to $50, it looks like. Shadows over Normandy plus Cthulhu. So, I mean, it looks like they have there's Drakeries, Ashral Orcs versus Paladinate of Irosia starter set. It is the most expensive one at $109 or so. And I probably butchered the hell out of that name as well. So there's that. But yeah, go over to that site if you have any interest in that and sign up for launch news. And I don't know, we will see about maybe playing it online for people.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll tag them and they'll send us a pre-launch copy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They'll hear this episode and be like, those guys.
We're going to send it to them. That's who we want
talking about our games.
That's right. These assholes right here. So Brandon, what kind of shout outs do we have this week?
This week we have 2 shout outs from our last episode.
From Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a comment from Viscount Terry W. Irvin II saying he thinks this is one of our best shows. The last one, certainly not this one.
Right, yeah.
Interesting discussion, including Jordan, Brandon, and Remington's insight into what's happening in the comic book universe from readers to retailers and beyond, which is high praise from Terry because, as we know, he is not a comic book reader.
Yeah.
And doesn't really enjoy him. So Terry W. Irvin thinks we're the best. Also, Wizard in the Wardrobe Keisha, who hasn't commented in quite a while, said it was awesome to hear us talk to Jordan. Podcast Unite. We need a GoFundMe page to raise money to buy some t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking pretty hardcore into the t-shirt thing. I still haven't pulled a trigger on anything, but I found something new that might be pretty good.
Yeah.
The
problem with t-shirts is they are expensive.
Yeah, that is the problem. But I don't know. We're still working on stuff. We're slow to move on that kind of thing because when it comes to t-shirts, you need a certain amount of startup capital a lot of the times. Otherwise, it's not necessarily worth it. And if you throw all that capital into making them and then you don't sell them and you don't make anything back, so it's just throwing money away.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Doing a Patreon is something that we have talked about before, but we are awful at coming up with ideas to say, oh, here, you contribute this much and you can get special content and bullshit. We're not good at that.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to work with us with that, you can email us, duelingogres@gmail.com, and say, hey, I'd like to work with you to make contests or to help you flesh out a Patreon. If it's something that you've done before, that would be great. Or if you're just good at coming up with contests and ideas, that would be also very good. Brandon and I are not good at it.
Right.
And further, we are not good at continuing to put it out there that we have a contest going on.
Right.
Yes, we're pretty bad at all of these things. Stephen Hines has commented a couple times on episodes, but he has been a day late and $1 short. Like, we have recorded and have already done the shout outs, and then he comments as I'm editing.
Okay. So we miss it.
Yeah, so we miss it. So he has chimed in on 108 saying that it was the funniest yet, although we had apparently posted a new one already. After Rem listened to the Flank Hawk and its 2 sequels, Rebirth Defect would be a really great follow-up listen. That's him plugging his book, Rebirth Defect. And I fully support him plugging his book. Because we plug Terry a lot, but we also love the Diamond Man, Stephen Hines. And we will certainly plug the hell out of his book too. Because we love him.
We'll plug them all.
Yeah, we'll just plug everybody. We love to plug people. Speaking of plugging, you can go over and listen to the episode of Kapow the Pop Cultured Podcast. I think it was... Oh, what episode was it that they actually...
50.
50? Was it? Oh, 51.
Maybe it was 51.
51.
Yeah.
51 is where they released the winner of their t-shirt, who happened to be branded. Go over and listen to it, and listen to them acknowledge that we are now in a full-blown podcast war with them.
Yes. They drew first blood.
And we will win. Did they?
Yeah, I realized even as I said that
I'm pretty sure.
Really...
Yeah, you specifically.
Me specifically, yes. Drew first blood. Yeah. So go over and check out episode 51. Listen to the things that they have to say. Over on Twitter, Larry as Voyager, or at Mumfrey999, he shared out a picture of Bluff Creek issue number 1 from SoPro Comics and Jordan Lowe. He shared out a picture, so if you guys were curious about the comic, you can go check out the picture. That way you know what you're looking at. The next comic, I think he said, is going to the printer like right now. I think it's in the midst of printing, or very close to being in the midst of printing. I think I saw that shared out somewhere. So you can go to SoPro Comics or Bluff Creek Facebook page and check that out. I think it was on both of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Mumfrey also posted a recent article on a role-playing game, tabletop RPG, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Delta Green, which is a very interesting look into kind of it's like a special ops for dealing with Lovecraftian monsters encroaching into the world. And you slowly go mad the more that you deal with these monsters.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really neat article to read through. So you can go check that out on our website at duelingogres.com. You can email us at duelingogres@gmail.com if you want to contribute anything, or you can just leave a comment on the Facebook page, which is what most people do. Make sure to check out our website at Dueling Ogres for those articles, and you can call us if you'd like to hear yourself on air if you have any questions or interesting tidbits that you would like to contribute at 978.
You just want to hear your voice on a podcast.
Yeah, if you just want to hear your voice. I mean, you can do that by calling us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, because iTunes makes the world go round and everybody loves it. Or if you don't like iTunes, like myself and Brandon. Brandon, do you like iTunes?
No, I think iTunes is a giant pain in the ass.
Okay. You can still find us on YouTube or even iHeartRadio, where we exist as an entity on a radio station of sorts.
Yeah.
Which was very neat.
You can listen to us all the time.
Yeah, you can listen to us anywhere at any time.
Is that how iHeartRadio works? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I use Pandora.
Yeah.
But
we need to get on Pandora.
I can't get us on Pandora. Pandora doesn't have a podcast section.
We'll just record ourselves in like 3.5-minute snippets.
Okay.
And put ourselves up as a band.
Okay, that sounds good.
Problem solved.
Or if you'd like to donate to the show, you can use the Satchel app on iPhone and Android. It's a really neat little app. I like the player a lot. You can find local podcasts by turning on your location. And you can also donate to the show, which is a very nice little addition to that.
Yeah. It's like, give us a little money kiss right on the forehead.
Yeah, a little money kiss for doing a good job. See, if you want to support us and contribute to getting t-shirts, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
See, we don't need a Patreon.
We just need people to pay us directly.
Yeah, we just need a satchel. We have a satchel. All we need is for people to put money into it.
Yeah.
Like somebody's playing, like it's the dancing monkey is what it is. That's what we are. We're dancing monkeys, and they're turning the kaleidoscope. And what? No, it's not a kaleidoscope. What is it called? Calliope. There we go.
Calliope's like a keyboard, like a piano thing. No.
What is that thing? An organ grinder.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So we are the monkeys, and Satchel is the organ grinder who lets us out to the public, and then you put money into the satchel.
Okay.
That was a long way to go for the end of the show, but it works.
It seemed a little bit like you were browbeating people.
I would
see
never.
if you want t-shirts.
No. We'll do t-shirts sooner or later anyway. But
yeah, t-shirts are gonna happen.
They're gonna happen. We just don't know when they're gonna happen.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it, but the basic premise, and I'm sure anybody at this point has looked online at t-shirts, like what Remington was saying, we could do t-shirts made to order. Like there's nothing stopping us from somebody getting a hold of us and saying, hey, Brandon, hey, Remington, I want a Dueling Ogres t-shirt. The problem is to just get one t-shirt printed to send to you guys is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like what, 35, 40? Like it's really high.
Yeah,
the price
really
drops
depends.
down to a reasonable point when you either get a large amount at once or kind of run through a third-party site that lets people order on demand.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're not even, at this point, even if we got t-shirts, we wouldn't be looking to turn a profit. We would just be looking to break even, to basically let the people pay what we would be getting the t-shirts for.
Yeah.
And as it stands now, I would feel uncomfortable and weird asking somebody for $35 or $40 for a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's just too much, you know?
Yeah.
I'd like to set a sweet spot of like 15 to 25 maximum for a shirt.
Yeah, I agree. So, but we're working on that. I found something that might work in our favor if I can figure out exactly what I want to do with it.
Yeah. So we hear you. We're going to have t-shirts, but if we get them done, if you don't buy those fucking t-shirts, you are dead to us.
Brandon, I think you're browbeating people.
Dead.
So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night.
You're fucking dead.
That's
I
terrible.
hope they have podcast apps in hell. Because you'll be dead.
That's just, I've never heard you be so mean. It's terrifying.
Really?
Yeah.
You've heard me be way meaner.
You're right.
Well, that was an episode.
Yeah, that was something. We need to quit missing weeks, dude.
I know.
It's so off when we do. We just need to hug each other.
I agree. A lot of hugging.
Mm-hmm.
Hug and tug.
Yeah.
Like tugboats.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we dragged this on long enough, I think. I think it'll be like it's still an hour and 20 minutes after editing.
Yeah.
So.
Have fun, listeners.
You lucky bastards. You get to listen to us be terrible. All right. I'm out of here. I'm
going to jump off too.
I got important me things to do.
Well, you do them.
Okay. Good night, Brandon.
Night, Remington. Love you.
Love you.
Wait, I thought I hit X and I would leave immediately.
Nope, it doesn't work that way.
It pops up.
Fuck you, bye.
Love you.
Pulled out the chipper and ran some of that stuff that I chopped through the chipper. Yeah.
Sounds like a fun day.
I'm a manly man of manliness.
You are.
I do all the manly things. Hey, what are we doing today, speaking of doing things?
A podcast?
But anyway, I can barely see your face.
Yeah, I know. I need to turn the lights on.
Yeah, go turn the light on.
Or it's kind of like I'm a femme fatale. Like you can just see my cigarette?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really noir, but turn a light on.